Hello. Oh
Hi
my
there.
gosh. Okay. Um, First of
Let's
all,
see if we remember how to do one of these.
yeah, it's been a while for me. I'm sorry, I've been so in and out, but welcome back to the Top Rope Boys podcast. It is your boy, your man with the plan, the host with the most, Mr. Reek Brown. I just want to say that I
Yes,
am
sir.
sorry because of my inconsistency with being on the podcast. I've just been going through a lot, you know what I'm saying? Family stuff, school stuff, things like that. So, but I'm back and we're going to be consistent. Well, Steph has always been consistent, but I'm just saying like for me, like I'm gonna be on it, you know what I'm saying? I ain't bullshitting I'm gonna be on it. I just gotta have some stuff to take care of. But you know what I'm saying? I'm back and I'm happy to be here.
Look, man, it's your boy, the EST of the DMV, the Cameroonian Nightmare, the Beijing Bulldozer, the Chocolate City Saint. I'm just always here. I'm trying to hold it down as much as I can. My boy has to go handle his business. So, of course, the best tag team partner in the world has to step in. You feel me?
Tag team champions. Nah.
Yes, sir.
And I always am grateful and I love you for it. Thank you for always
Love
holding
you
it
too,
down,
buddy.
you know what I'm saying?
Of
But
course.
shit, let's get right. So okay, so obviously we got a bunch to cover. Well, not a bunch, but it's been some funny things happening. But I really wanted to start with some AEW stuff, specifically
Yeah.
Will Ospreay. Um
Oh,
he has
great.
made several he has made a few different comments about WWE over the last few days.
Mhm.
Hold on, let me just kind of pull it up here.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
well for one
Let's not misquote nobody.
for one he did say AEW is so much more of a better wrestling company than WWE is. Okay. He also said, we smoke them in every field of wrestling, like we're just better. I respect every single one of them there. They all know what they're doing. They're great at their job. They understand getting people on their feet, but we are so much more better of a wrestling company than them. He also said something else. They've got good guys
A
like
wrestling company that's been around for 6 years, by the way. Let's give some context.
they've got good guys like Gunther, Randy Orton, Chad Gable. I respect all of them. But on our worst day, we smoke all you guys. Now, I first want to say I'm not a fan of tribalism at all. I've never been a fan of tribalism. My thing is, as a wrestling fan, you should be able to enjoy whatever you want to enjoy. If you enjoy WWE, AEW, NWA, TNA, Stardom,
New Japan,
and All Japan, whatever you like, you know what I'm saying? Fourth rope, shout out to fourth rope. Whatever you like,
shout out Fourth Row.
enjoy what you like. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like me, I enjoy all wrestling. I don't care what company it comes from at all. But it's just like I understand as someone who's in AEW, you're supposed to be like, hey, yeah, of course we're better. But it's almost just like the comments fuel the tribalism even more, and I hate it. Now, I'm not mad at all about what Will Ospreay said. It's just
Hmm.
like the tribalism wars that have been going on are going to keep going on, and that comment has is going to make it worse and it's going to piss me off.
Oh, most definitely.
And also too, is he better than Gunther? Is he better than Seth Rollins? Is he even better than AJ Styles
It's
right now? I'm not. I'm listen. I'm just trying to.
the
I'm trying to play
it's so
devil's
funny that
advocate.
you yeah, no, please do. And so it's so funny that you bring up Seth Rollins because let's be completely bipartisan here. I think we had this conversation before the podcast started or whatever, when Seth Rollins was making all those comments about, oh, WWE would smoke the other company because he's such a like the way I see it, Seth Rollins and Will Ospreay are the same when it comes to being complete company men, which is insane because I think this is Will's first full year being signed to AEW. Like he was basically a free agent beforehand. Please double check me if I'm wrong
I
on this.
think he signed with them officially. It might have been late 2023 actually, mid to late 2023
Okay.
actually, I believe. So he's been on the roster. It will be 2 years pretty soon, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
All right. Well, it like I was saying, he's still like they're both. There's nothing wrong with carrying the flag for your brand and carrying the flag for your promotion. You're supposed to do that, but you
Exactly.
ain't got it. Like sometimes not everything is a work. You don't have to shoot on somebody just for the fact of shooting on somebody. It does not make sense to me, and especially when just like especially in a time where it is incredibly easy to be a wrestling fan. All these promotions and all these
There's
companies
so much
are
of it,
uploading
bro.
content. They are uploading content daily. Throughout my regular day, I can watch an AEW match, a WWE match, TNA highlights, and a DPW match all in one day.
Shout out
Also, shout out
DPW.
Fourth Row, shout out Ashay. You know, I had got shout out to Black
Shout
owned
out,
brands. You
shout
feel
out,
me?
shout out GCW. Shout out House of Glory. Like, there's a lot. There's rest,
For real. And
guys.
so,
There's wrestling everywhere. Watch it, find
and
it,
the thing is
enjoy
that,
it.
which brings me back to my initial point, which means from a wrestling, mind you, not a wrestler, never been in a ring once, so I can't speak on being it. But you would think if there's money everywhere to be get, if there's money everywhere to be got, why? As long as there's enough, because so much has changed in the last 10 years in terms of the climate of things and the different places where people can go and get a bag. Why would you be shitting on people just trying to get a bag like you are? That doesn't make no type of sense to me.
But I will say this too, like it does make it like the. I mean, it's not really. I'm not going to call it a war or anything, but like it just makes it interesting. Like I do love the pride that you get from being with your company. I love it a lot. You know,
Mhm.
because I feel like at the end of the day, all these guys are professionals. They can recognize, the talent. They can recognize the greatness on either side. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, you have
Yeah,
to rep your team, rep your side. There's nothing wrong with that. I just hate tribalism. I can't stand it because
yeah,
like you're getting on someone for watching WWE, you're getting on someone for watching AEW. There's great wrestling everywhere. Yes,
for real,
and people that care about ticket sales and all that shit. Oh, you're performing in front of 2,000 people. So what? You know what I'm saying?
bro.
Like great wrestling
My
is great
God,
wrestling. I don't care. Like you could have fucking Will Ospreay and Seth Rollins wrestle in a high school gym. It doesn't matter if the match is going to be good. You know what I'm saying? So like,
bro.
I think with tribalism, people are worried about the wrong shit. Just look at the wrestling. Look at the product. Look at what's going on with the
Mhm.
product. Fuck the sales. Fuck the seats.
The
That's not
gate,
important. Why do we care about that?
yeah. And I'm so happy that you brought up your point about sales, tickets, the gate, because I'm not sure if you remember the comments that Punk had made during the Ariel Helwani interview a couple years ago when he had left not after he had left AEW, when he was coming back around when they were doing WrestleMania in Philly last year. They
Mm-hmm.
had that whole like 2 hour long interview, whatever.
Yeah, he addressed it. He addressed like
They,
the whole brawl out thing. Yeah.
yeah, they are clipping up his comments about ticket sales and the gate and using it to weaponize. Like, it is stupid. It is stupid, folks.
Uh,
Let
listen, here's my thing. Like I said, as a
mhm.
fan, you should not care how much money the company is making unless your favorite company is about to go out of fucking business or go bankrupt. Otherwise, why do you give a fuck? Why do you give a shit? Now, like when TNA was in danger so many times going bankrupt, I can see why people would trip off that. Cause like, damn, they're like,
I was about to say you're a
but
TNA
like,
diehard. I have never seen you use like you're a TNA diehard, so I have never seen you use stats as a way to prove anything wrong. Because again, if we were going off of that, you would not be a diehard of TNA. Because again, like you said, they've
like,
gone under, damn near gone under so many times.
and it's just like that shouldn't matter to us. We're the consumers. It's not our money. It's not our money being made. Now, like
Hmm.
either company is going to be just fine
Absolutely.
financially. Either company is going to be great. Oh, they didn't sell out. Oh, so fucking what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
But
very
now, as
stupid.
far as Will Osprey goes, like period, like in general. So Will Osprey to me is one of the best wrestlers in the world. That goes without saying.
Shout out
Now,
to the Billy Goat.
I do what's irritating me about it too also is that people are trying to say like, the way he wrestles is very like, well, okay, so I heard someone say that he wrestles like a Power Ranger. Like he wrestles like a Power Ranger fights. And
I'm sorry, that caught me off guard. That's a good one.
I'm not saying that I disagree, but what I'm saying is like he's able to do a lot of crazy and amazing things in the ring that Like I could imagine a Power Ranger wrestling like that. Like, and I'm not saying that even as a bad thing. I'm not even using it as an insult. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna smoke WWE? Now, Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. Hey, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. You know what I mean? But like Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, AJ Styles, Gunther, you know what I'm saying? I can go down the list. Like WWE has so many heavy hitters. So does AEW. So it's like it's kind of crazy to compare apples to oranges. Like it's silly, honestly and truly. But it is what it is. I just wish people would just enjoy what they see. Like just watch the wrestling, please. Because sometimes people refuse to even watch another company. And I'm like, why do you care? This nigga right here. Like, why do you care so much? You
It's
know what
so,
I'm saying? Like, it really, really, really should not matter to you about certain things.
absolutely true,
Watch,
bro.
just watch the fucking show.
Absolutely true, bro.
And that's
I'm
that's
Will
where
the White Ranger Osprey.
that's kind of all I have to say about the Will Ospreay thing. But it's just like, come on, y'all. Like, goddamn. Like I said,
Oh
his
my gosh.
his comments were not inherently wrong. He's entitled to say that. It's not an issue. But I'm just like, Seth Rollins still exists, Gunther still exists, AJ Styles still exists. Like,
Ilya
let's not lie.
Dragunov
Let's not
still
lie
exists.
now. Let's not cap now. You know what I'm saying? Like shit. The women's division, in my opinion, is still smoking AW from like head to toe. Now, obviously, at the top, you still
Mhm.
got you got Tony Storm, who is amazing, Megan Bain, Mercedes.
Athena, yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Athena. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But like WWE, from head to toe, the women's roster is fucking ridiculous. Having someone
Their
like
developmental be having hits.
having someone like Julia, Jordan Grace, and fucking Stephanie McCare in developmental.
Yeah.
Come on, like honestly,
Yeah.
it's almost like y'all are still competing with the NXT women's division as opposed to the entire thing. Like it's very, very top heavy. You know what I'm saying?
Lord knows they complete. Lord knows they competed with NXT in terms of ratings.
But like there's great wrestling everywhere. If you want the focus to be more so on in-ring stuff, yeah, sure, watch AEW. If you like more story-driven things, yeah, sure, watch WWE. Watch whatever you want for whatever reason you want to watch it. That's it.
Yeah,
That's all I gotta say about it.
it's so stupid. Also, for anyone that didn't get a chance, I suggest you all go to the video because Lord knows I just did a whole Will Ospreay accent that y'all probably heard me butcher, but the reason was because I had a Power Ranger helmet on because
Of
that Power Ranger joke was fucking hilarious. Hold on, I'm gonna do it again real quick. Let me talk my shit real quick. I'm Will Ospreay, bro. The White Ranger, bro. I'm the Billy
oh,
Goat, bro. Anyway,
oh my gosh. So
speaking,
go ahead. My
go
fault.
ahead.
No, 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 you go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, my bad. Sorry, guys. We're trying to figure out who's leading this dance because it's been a couple weeks. But no. So speaking of Will Ospreay, let's just jump right into it. We had AEW Spring Break this week.
Yeah,
Actually, we had AEW Spring Break last night from the day that we're recording this. It's one of the biggest Dynamite shows, and also we've been trying to figure out a way how to get more AEW content on here, so that way we can show y'all that we are bipartisan and like Reek has
I
been
promise
preaching
you
for
we
like the
are.
last like.
I promise you we are.
So that and like Reek has been trying to preach for like the last 30 minutes. Like we do watch and try and consume as much as we can. It's just Lord knows, again, consuming all of it is a job in and of itself. And we are like
To say the
PBS.
very
This is
least, bro. It's a
yeah,
lot.
we are like
Like
and we are like PBS. This is funded by viewers like you. So
like
thank you. Um
I love wrestling to death, but when you factor in jobs, personal lives, things like that, and trying to consume all of
yeah,
it, it's a lot. But
it's insane.
I love doing it. It's wrestling. Wrestling's cool. I don't care. It is what it is.
Exactly.
But bear with us because there might be things we miss. There might be things we can't cover because we don't know any better. It's just let us be. We're human.
Exactly.
But
Because
continue.
Lord knows because Lord knows there's so many TNA pay-per-views we wanted to cover, the New Japan Resurgence pay-per-view that just happened, we wanted to cover, but schedules and things like that.
Hmm.
Anyway, back to Spring Break. And actually talking about Will himself, he teamed up with Hangman Adam Page ahead of their Owen Hart men's final that is supposed to be having a double and nothing
Which I can't
in
wait
what?
for. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's in like a week, right? Because it's the 26th.
What's today? But yeah,
Today's the
so it's
15th.
like a week and a half ish. Hmm.
Yeah, a week and a half ish. So it was Will and Hangman against Konosuke Takeshita and Josh Alexander, which I think was a great matchup because
Yep.
it's two incredibly like dynamic high flyers against two like super technical experts. Because also, oh my God, I know that wrestling is so much presentation,
No, I
but
just want to
Josh
say like
Alexander,
I just want to say
go
like I
ahead.
love the trope of the will they won't they thing, where it's like you got
Yeah.
two guys that are competing against each other, but they have to tag up. Are they gonna, are they gonna be able to coexist? Like it's such a common trope in wrestling where,
Hmm.
oh, are they gonna be able to coexist together? Like
Yeah, because didn't Cena and Orton win the tag titles like literally the day before they had a match?
tag titles, no. Imagine that though.
I
I know
swear I'm
John Cena won the tag titles with the Miz. He won them Jones with
okay.
Batista right before their SummerSlam matchup in
It was
08.
Cena and Batista. It was Cena and Batista
It
that
was
second
like
night.
probably 2 weeks out from the SummerSlam shit. So
Yeah.
yeah, just random shit like that. I enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? But like in
Hmm.
this match, there was one moment where Will almost accidentally hit Hangman with a hidden blade, and it was just so dramatic. Listen. I love in-ring storytelling. Don't get me wrong. It was.
Hmm.
I just remember watching. I was like,
It
seriously,
felt like some Days of Our Lives shit.
like some fucking bold and the beautiful shit. Like,
Oh my God. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But no, bro. This overall the match was really, really good. Like the first half of it was really, really good. Mind
oh
you,
for
they
sure.
are opening the show with this. We when we do these recaps, we try and do the show in sequence as much as we possibly can. So this is like although I do remember after like the second commercial break, I was like, all right, what are we doing? This was a little drawn out, especially for the show opener. But I believe that like it did a good job of setting up the Will Ospreay and Hangman match for Double or Nothing. I think that again, Josh Alexander and Konosuke are super super technical, and also having the Don. Yeah, I'm blanking on names, and for a second I almost called him Tony D'Angelo, but having well no, having Don on commentary is always going to be funny.
Love
Like
Don Callis.
yeah, like Don Callis is a gem in and of itself, one of the most charismatic in AEW, regardless of his position over there. And like I I'm not one of those dudes that thinks like every time Will steps on the mat or steps in the ring, it's gonna be a 5-star banger. But this was solid. I just wish it was like condensed a little bit more. Because again, it was super drawn out. Go ahead.
And hold on, I just
Ooh,
okay. So I just speaking of the 5-star thing, who gives a fuck?
I need oh my God.
I,
If
I,
I
I
could
just
get
I
if
just
I
I
could
just
get
want
Meltzer tweets off my timeline, I'd
I
love it.
just will Aldrin has X amount of 5-star matches. Kenny Omega has X amount of 5 star. Bro, Dave Meltzer gives an average AEW tag team match 4.5 stars. I mean, like I take 5-star ratings with a grain of salt
Yeah.
because I'm just like he gives so many on the AEW side of things, and it's just like but don't factor that into wrestling arguments, please. Don't do that. Don't do that. With Kenny Omega, you can probably do that because they call him the best bout machine for a reason. So maybe with him, you can do that. I'm not going to argue with you
True.
about Kenny. Listen, I'll go to war about Kenny Omega. Okay, so I'm not, but cut that shit out. Continue, Steph. My fault.
All right, all right, all right. No, there really was nothing else that I had to say about that match for real. Can we
Yo,
just take a second to laugh at this Ricochet and Zach Gowen match?
so Ricochet is a fucking asshole on screen, and I love it.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, I
Oh
will
no, he might be an
say,
asshole. He might be an asshole off screen too.
oh, listen, but like
Shout out Javon.
him
Shout out Javon.
parading first of all, him taking Zach Gowen's leg is crazy as fuck, and parading around with it and all that shit is like Zach Gowen literally wrestled with one leg last last night. But now
Mhm.
there are shockingly a lot of people who don't know who Zach Gowen is, which is crazy because why are you watching wrestling? Now, I just want to get some insight for people who don't know who Zach Gowen is. It was 2003, I believe, where he was on SmackDown actually, and
Yeah.
he ended up getting into a match with Brock Lesnar, who was the I think he was the WWE champion at that time, or like he was in the mix for like feuding with Kurt Angle and all that jazz.
Mhm.
And I think he was on one leg in that match too. And Brock Lesnar proceeded to beat the shit out of him. And it was one of the craziest things to see on screen because like you're seeing this big monstrous dude beat the brakes off of a dude that has one leg who was probably like 150 pounds. But I just want to give that little insight. Now, seeing him on TV last night was great. I just, kind of took me back to my childhood in that regard. I was like, oh shit, Zach Gowen. Like, damn, it was like just a cool thing to see him on TV and him getting some spotlight and all that. Him and Ricochet, put on a compelling little contest there, which I did enjoy. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I had no issue with that. That was fun for sure. Now, something that something else that kind of took me back to my childhood and like older WWE stuff. Because I remember it was back in '98 when Owen Hart ended up joining the Nation of Domination.
Oh.
Whereas
Oh yeah.
you had Farouk, The Rock, Mark Henry, and D'Lo Brown, and Owen fucking Hart.
Yeah.
I think you also had Kama Mustafa, the Godfather, in there at some point, if I'm not mistaken. I know I didn't.
No, yeah, he was.
I did not make that up.
Yeah.
Um,
No, you got it.
because last night MJF ended up getting accepted into the Hurt Syndicate. Excuse me, Syndicate. He finally got accepted into the Hurt Syndicate
Hey, it's all right because we gonna talk about the missing piece later, and
and
I don't think it's gonna tie back to that.
and why? That's my only question is why. Now,
Okay, so
you know what?
yeah, like so in terms
I'm gonna let you
in,
cook
in
with
terms
that.
of the why, I think I'm going to tell you the exact why. I think this is a long. It's such a long-winded way of it's a long-winded way of getting Cedric there.
I hope
It
so.
has to it has to end with Cedric there.
Listen,
Like,
if this ends with a match where it's Cedric taking on MJF,
oh
I
yeah,
would love to
I
see it.
need that. I need that. And the thing is that because I'm so happy that you made that little Hurt Business slip up because it's every single beat almost. Like, also, I'm not gonna lie, this whole MJF in the Hurt Syndicate story arc has been funny. It's been funny as
Oh, I'm
hell.
enjoying
The
it.
only thing, the only thing that I didn't like about that segment, that top flight match, that was almost a squash match. That should have been longer.
Top Flight is they're so young and so talented. They've just been both like had like bad injury luck, but both are.
Hmm.
I love Darius and Dante. They are so good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I,
I really really think those are guys that can be tag team champions for sure. I love them to
yeah,
death.
and I think that Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin believe that too because I remember they said in the CVV interview that dropped for them a couple weeks ago that we only find people that we think we can put over, that we think can actually be something once we done because we got less years
See,
ahead of us than behind us.
and
I mean,
that's
more years
what
behind us than ahead of
and
us.
that's what wrestling really is about, like seeing the bigger picture. So I
Hmm.
do think it's good that they're being on screen. Yeah, because I know you're trying to make Bobby and Shelton look dominant, which you should, which you absolutely
Absolutely,
should.
it's
But
Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley.
it's still good that you're giving Top Flight that program, that spotlight. You know what I'm saying? Because it's showing us that you think that they're worthy of being tag team champions. Because why else would you be in the ring with tag team champions if you didn't think they shouldn't be there? So TK, do the right thing, please. Thank
Let's
you.
see. Speaking of people who think that they can be tag team champions but shouldn't, during this whole thing, because we're just going around the segment, Dustin Rhodes shows up with Sammy Guevara. Now, I understand they're Ring of Honor tag team champions. I fully understand that. However, would I be crazy if I said that no one wants, or at least I don't. Let me not say no one, because let me not speak in absolutes. I
Uh,
personally do not see the ROI in putting a tag team belt on Dustin Rhodes. Sammy Guevara, I can understand,
now, it's so funny because
except
I
for
think
a name.
it's so funny because I think about this in the contrary. Actually, now I love Dustin Rhodes to death. I'm not too big of a fan of Sammy Guevara, but that's for personal reasons. But now I do love that Dustin Rhodes is getting a chance to really display how good he is in the ring because he's always been a fantastic wrestler. That's never been,
No, he has.
but he's finally getting to a chance to really like uh because he's paid his dues and it's getting given back to him. You know what I'm saying, with the tag team titles and all that other good shit. Which so I have no issue with it at all. And he is retiring soon, so I'm like, give him as much as you want to give him. He's a guy who went through like he was the natural in WCW. He was really good over there, won a couple titles over there, and
Yeah.
then with the whole Gold Dust thing, and then
I was
he
gonna
was
say, obviously we know about his
and
WWE
then
run.
I think he was like on drugs or alcohol for a while there. He had a quick stint in TNA that went bad. A bunch of shit. I remember he came back to WCW briefly, and he was like, "This is the type of shit that made me leave WWF in the first place." First promo on WCW television. He's like, he said, I left the other company because of shit like this. Said that on screen in the ring. I was like, oh, okay.
But yeah, no, you were right.
And then
I
he
did
ended up, and then
just
he
fact
ended up
check a little
going,
bit
then he
because I
ended up
want to make
going
sure
back.
he did.
Like he's just been through a lot. So I'm like, I'm happy for him. Go crazy. And like I said, he's retiring like this year, I think he said. So hey.
Yeah. By the way, I did fact check you real quick. He did say that he was dealing with some drug and alcohol things, so you were correcting that. Just want to make sure because I don't want to start on anything crazy on anyone's
Yeah,
jacket.
yeah, oh yeah, that because I remember like hearing something about that, which is why he left WWE again at some point. So I did. I don't like making things up. I'm not going to say it if I don't think it's a fact. So
Yeah,
appreciate the
yeah.
fact check.
Oh no, I just had to make sure. But no, yeah, I it's funny because we don't usually see ourselves on opposite ends of the aisle. But no, it's nothing about the quality of his in-ring performance for me. I think the only thing is that like I'm just trying to figure out what the longevity is because I think what's the more story potential you can milk out of this because obviously like the tag hon- honestly there's so many championships in AEW that any one of them can be a
So
stepping
many,
stone
so many.
that any of them can be a stepping stone championship. However, I think it would be kind of cool if I think the only thing cool that could come out of a potential Dustin and Sammy versus the Hurt Syndicate matchup would be if they use this as a way to unify. If they use this as a way to unify, condense down the titles. Although I do think that since technically Ring of Honor is another promotion, that could get a little bit tricky.
Yeah, I was about to say like I think they're trying to keep Ring of Honor as separate as possible from AEW, even though TK owns both of them, which is fine because Ring of Honor's been around since like what 2002.
Since
So
oh
so
two, yeah.
so by all means, let ROH be ROH. Let AEW be AEW.
Hmm.
Now of course you can have double champions, all that good shit. I don't mind. That's fine. Just don't like absorb Ring of Honor into AEW because that's kind of like as a wrestling purist and a fan, I don't like that shit at all. Don't do that. But I get where you're coming from. I don't mind if you want to make the Hurt Syndicate like double champions, great, but don't like make it one undisputed title
I
shit. You
I
know?
get that. I get where you're coming from. My only I'm just focused on condensation, bro, because that's
No, I
too
got
many
you.
titles to keep track of. Because
I
to be
got you.
honest, what is the tree? What are the trio? What separates the trio titles from the tag team championships, except for just one person?
Because I'm a guy. I like trios wrestling. I like tag team wrestling. It's just a lot. Now, this is not like
It's so much.
Japan. I forgot which company it was, but there's a company that has a 10-man tag team title where
All right, bro.
where five people are champions and one team. and you defend it in 10-man tag team matches. And I'm like, that's a lot. That is
I'm
extreme.
so
A 10-man tag team title is extreme. That's crazy. Now, what else
I'm
crazy?
just not gonna say.
Now,
Go ahead.
uh, someone who I'm personally a fan of, Sky Blue, returned to TV last night, which I'm happy about. Love that. I think it was AZM, Sky Blue, Tony, and Mina, right?
Yeah, yeah. It was a no, it was an elimination match for
Yeah,
contendership
and
against
that's
Tony's
and
title.
also with multi-man slash women matches like fatal four ways. If it's like a fatal four way and up, make it an elimination match. Always.
Who?
Now, like I feel like the U.S. title match at Backlash should have been elimination. I just like it better that way,
Hmm.
me personally. But either way, um, you ended up setting up Tony and Mina for is this either for the title or that's for the I'm sorry, my brain is fuzzy. Help me out
It's
here.
for the title because Mercedes and
Oh, yeah, because
I'm getting all
Mercedes and
those
what
names.
you
They
call
go
for
for
the Owen.
it's
Yeah.
for the cup. Yeah,
So, which is great. That's going to be a fantastic matchup. Honestly,
it is.
all the women's matches are going to be great, and that was I was happy to see that. And I think obviously AZM and Mercedes going to run that shit back, which they should. I would love to see that shit again.
Yeah,
So, hey, by all means, go there.
bro. Their
Now,
match at Resurgence,
fantastic.
Chef's Kiss. Oh my fucking god! Shout out to the one shorty, who was at Resurgence in LA, and you could
Yeah,
hear her through
she was going
everyone's fucking
off,
stream.
man.
Yo, that's gotta be the biggest Mercedes. You gotta ship her some merch. You got actually send her a copy of one of the belts.
Shout out to the black girls who like wrestling.
We love you.
Love you. Shout
Hey,
out to the black girls who love wrestling, man. Love all,
boy.
love all y'all. But yeah, see, and that just shows you that like how far women. See, women's wrestling has always been great. It just hasn't always been displayed. So it's good. So it's good to just see
Yeah.
the women in any company just keep stepping up the bar. I just love seeing that. It's fucking amazing. Now, speaking of raising bars, I think we need to raise the bar in the world title picture, Tony, because
Let's talk about it.
You had Samoa Joe and Mox for the world title in a cage match last night. Now, how Mox retained, Jesus fucking Christ. Now, if you know who Gabe Kidd is, he's a New Japan guy. I believe he's in the Bullet Club. And
Yes.
he just went off on a promo saying "fuck AEW" and "fuck WWE." And it's like it's so funny because everyone's like, he's going to be in AEW in like a month, and he ended up being
Yeah.
right back in AEW. He helped Mox retain last night by giving Mox the briefcase. I'm over it. I'm over it. And then the Bucks came down. Kenny Omega came down. They
Swerve came down.
they're being
Okada came
opinionated.
down.
And Swerve came down, made the save. This I'm tired of John Moxley. I'm tired of the Young Bucks. Like, please, I don't know who. If this means Darby Allin's going to be the guy to dethrone Moxley, fine, fine. I've been against that, but fine, because
I
I
think
am
it should.
sick.
I still think it should have been Swerve, but fuck it. I'm with it.
Fuck that nigga Swerve. Anyways,
That's crazy.
I'm just tired. And the thing about it is, listen. I don't hate Mox. It's just the ways he's winning and the diminishing match quality that's pissing me off. Like, you're better than
Oh,
this.
for real.
You're
Oh my
better
God.
than
Thank you.
this.
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you.
listen, you
Oh
can
my.
like if listen, if you really want the Death Riders thing to be good, you would go out there, have some crazy technical classics like y'all were doing when Daniel Bryan was in the group. Like, just go out there and have a good match. Y'all don't need to cheat and do this other bullshit. Like, why do you want to be presented as a chicken shit heel? That's basically what it is. Granted,
Yes.
he still has the aura of like being a badass, but like
Mhm.
it's easy to see through it. Cause
And
like
the
you're
thing is
not.
that like
Go ahead. It's pissing me off. Go ahead.
no,
Like,
no, no, no. You're completely right because it's a complete. I don't want to say it's a breakdown, and I don't want to call it character assassination on Moxley, but it does make you question what the motivations are in terms of like how he's handling this and how he's taking it. Because let's just call a spade a spade. Like he doesn't look interested in any of these matches anymore. Like, which is
Bro,
crazy because the whole reason that Mox went over there was because he wanted to renew a love of the game and he wanted to do the matches that he wanted to do. But now it feels like he's burdened with this title and he's burdened in this story,
he just looks
which
burned out.
again, let's yes, he's burned the fuck out. And also, it feels like every fucking time that we get close to someone ending this reign of tyranny, I understand how people felt during Roman Reigns' run now. It just completely clicked in my head. It
Dog.
just completely clicked.
Honestly, speaking of that, like I remember watching it was Clash of the Castle 2022, I think. And
Mhm.
Drew's getting a title shot. Drew's literally about to win the match. Fucking Solo Sikoa debuts. I'm
Yeah,
like it's
yeah,
always
yeah.
something. It's always something. Or the SummerSlam the next year when Jay's literally about to win this match, and then here comes
And
Jimmy.
Jimmy comes and
I'm like,
sabotages him.
what the
Yeah.
fuck are we doing?
Oh no, we're gonna talk about the
Like
bloodline and their antics later. But
Mox, please.
yeah, and so overall, man, it's just a matter of fact of it doesn't seem like it seems like he's burnt out. It seems like he's trapped in the story that he really is not all that interested in telling. And it seems like they keep trying to up the ante for a story that isn't worth upping the ante.
Like, bro, the whole Death Riders thing is falling flat, bro. And I hate saying that because I love who's in it. Like,
Um,
I love Pac. I love Cesaro. I'm calling him Cesaro. I'm calling him Cesaro. Shout out to Claudio. I don't
I'm a huge
dislike.
Mox fan.
I don't dislike Willer Yuta. I mean, he's alright.
I
I
will
mean,
respectfully, it's fuck Yuta, but as a person, I don't care. I
I'm
fuck with
like,
Yuta.
hey, shout out to Yuta. Hey. And then, of
Mhm.
course, Mox. Love those guys, but like, please give me something fresh. I'm begging. I don't ask for
Yeah.
much. But
Oh, also, real quick before we wrap up on spring break, I find it very funny that this is called spring break and it's about to be people's summer vacation right now.
I'm like, mind
I just found that
it's
hilarious.
May. Like,
Yeah,
come on, Tony Khan, do better. Just make it in April.
yeah. But
But shit, speaking of breaks, we're gonna have to go
anyway,
to
yeah,
commercial break
let's
because
go pay some bills.
we gotta go pay some bills. We'll be back. See y'all in the next segment. Peace.
Again, he's sick. Beat his nose with the back of the gun till he's sick. I can't go back and forth, niggas mad about a bitch. So fuck when I'm mad, I ain't mad at the box. Thinking she low, she gave me a twat. Lost count of the bitch, I done fucked her a lot. She told me parking got fucked in a lot. She said she in love, how the fuck you a thot? I can't go.
So we are back. Okay. So now of course this past because today is Thursday. So
Yeah,
last week's SmackDown, what I'm saying? That was the go home show before Backlash, whatever, whatever. Um, some things happen, some cool things happen there. Now, I think you started with LA Knight, Damian Priest versus my United States champion, Jacob
come
Fatu.
on. Two.
A very, very solid tag team outing, obviously. Now, I just want to say, like, I'm glad that they're making the U.S. title feel important by having,
Yeah,
like, you got these former world champions going after it. Guys like, you got Damian Priest and Drew going after it. Got like LA Knight still going after it. Got like, Jacob Fatu, who is a world title main event talent, holding that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? A really, really solid outing. What I mean, like, those guys always put on good matches. I'm not surprised. What the fuck?
it's solid, but let's be so for real. For the past like 4 months, have we not been seeing these LA Knight and somebody against the Bloodline matches?
See, yes, he's caught in the bloodline vortex, unfortunately. Just like Cody was for a long time there. Well, shit, Cody was in the bloodline and the Judgment Day vortex for a while there. Shit.
Yeah, and so like it made sense when LA Knight like first debuted on SmackDown, he started getting momentum because he was going up against Roman. That's the time when he was like tagging with John, right? And so
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You were asking me a question. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, I was like, it made sense like for his character, like that time he was hanging with John, so
Yep.
of course he was going up against Roman and the Bloodline, all that type of jazz. But
See,
now, it if these feel like just filler now.
it's so good, honestly, because with LA Knight, I remember when he first debuted on Main in 22, I believe,
Hmm.
and he was Max Dupree, Maxine Dupree's brother.
God, I never want to hear that name again.
And I remember him debuting, and I'm just like, this is what we're doing. Because I've been a fan of him since he was Eli Drake. I'm talking about like I was watching him when he was world champion in TNA. I love this. Shit,
Yeah.
I was watching him. He was teaming with Drew in TNA. It was him, Drew, and Tongaloa. Niggas don't remember that shit. Niggas do not remember that
Mm.
shit in Impact Wrestling. But you know what I'm saying? He ended up saying, "Hey, I'm not Max Dupree. I'm LA Knight." He spent like a year getting built up, whatever. Wins this big SummerSlam battle royal. You know what I'm saying? Then goes on to participate in Money in the Bank and things like that. Then finally wins the US title later on last year. So,
Yeah.
and yeah, he's still caught up in the vortex, unfortunately, but he's mixed up with Jacob Fatu, which I don't mind. Now, we're going to talk about Jacob Fatu a little bit more when we get to Backlash, but you know what I'm saying? He's doing his fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like, shit, I love that
Like
guy.
you said, world title holder, main event talent soon. We can see it. The vision
Like,
is clear.
it's so easy. It's right there. He
Mm.
can win the Royal Rumble next year. I don't give a fuck. It's right there. It's right there.
Yeah.
Or he can,
Um.
or he can win a chamber match next year to get a title shot.
Oh.
Something. I don't really care. Give
Yeah.
him something because, well, I do think Braun Breaker might be like the Rumble winner for next year. I already have that in my brain. Like I'm convinced. I
Hmm.
I think Braun Breaker is going to be the guy by next year for sure. If this thing with Seth Rollins works out for him, which I'm sure it will, because Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman are geniuses. They'll figure that shit out. I ain't worried about that shit at all.
Most definitely.
Now and then you finally had in another tag team contest. You finally had Alexa Bliss back on TV.
Come
Fucking
on. Come
finally,
on.
fucking finally.
Finally.
She teamed with
Because we hadn't seen her since the Elimination Chamber,
I'm
right?
saying yes, and we saw her teaming with our other U.S. champion, Zelina Vega, who's finally getting her just desserts and her will due, and I'm so happy about that. I'm so happy for her. She's doing fantastic shit right now, and I know like if they really let her, she can be a good champion for a good amount of time, and I hope they let her. I hope they let her rock
Hey, it's EV Army over here. Come on.
for sure, bro. I remember. Like you said earlier, I was a TNA guy. I love TNA. Well, I've always been a WWE guy, like primarily, but I was a huge fan of TNA. I remember she was a TNA as a Knockouts Tag Team Champion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been on this train. Love that girl. I've been on this train. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, and it's so funny, like the picture of Andrade winning the US Championship with her as his manager, and then her finally getting the US Championship. I think it's so dope.
Because like I'm just glad they're letting her wrestle. Because like for a
Yeah,
long time there, she was just managing, and then of course she ends up winning Queen of the Ring. Her and Carmella, I think, were tag team champions, which a lot of people
they
forget.
were.
I honestly forgot about it too until I just remembered
Mhm.
it just now. And, she's finally getting her chance to be a single star. Now,
Yeah, and
um, there's definitely a few other ladies that deserve that spot. Like as time goes on, like you got BFAB coming up. Michin is going to get that at some point. I
come
hope
on, come
because she's
on.
because
We need
she's
that.
been because Michin has
Overdue.
she's been improving. She's been busting her ass. I really hope she does get like a shot to be a champion at some point. And BFAB also, even if it's short, like give them a shot. Like they deserve that. But yeah, they had a
Most
tag team.
definitely.
They tagged against Chelsea and Piper Niven, uh, the Secret Hermits. I love Chelsea Green so much. She is fucking hilarious. I love everything she does. You cannot make me hate
Yeah.
Chelsea Green at all. Oh my gosh. Shit. But staying on the women, like, our this bitch Charlotte was in the ring talking about some, I'll go away, never come back. Okay.
Bro, the way how they booed her, the
Like,
way how they
okay.
booed her out the stadium is insanely funny to
Like,
me.
you think we give a shit? You think we care?
Nah, that's
But no,
wild.
no disrespect to Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? She's a fantastic. She's one of the greatest of all time. No disrespect to Charlotte. She's great. I love her. Like in ring, love her to death. I'm not.
Absolutely. It's
Everyone
just a
knows
character work. It's just a character.
I'm Charlotte's biggest hater. We know that. But objectively, easily one of the best in the world. One of the best to ever do it. You know what I'm saying? But what was cool was when she was walking out of the ring, down comes Jade Cargill. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah.
We had the little stare down.
That little
Like
stare down. Storm coming.
foreshadowing.
Storm coming.
The storm coming for the queen. Hey, listen, run that shit. Why not? Run that shit.
Sweet. And
Now,
apparently, if you want to talk again, every time I bring up the dirt sheets, I always say take it with a grain of salt.
yep.
But if you want to believe the dirt sheets, they throwing around that match for Evolution.
Now, I just really, really hope they do right by Evolution. Now, Jade versus Charlotte at Evolution would be great, I think. Now, but I'm trying to figure out what kind of route they're going with it as it pertains to like, are you gonna do like dream matches? You want to focus on legends? Like, what are we? I just want to know what the vibe is going to be. Either way, as long as you're displaying the women in a good and righteous way, I don't care how you do it. Just do it the right way. Just do it good. Like let them shine. Do a good job. Hell, like I keep saying, bro, you can just give me Oscar if Oscar's healthy. Shit, if
Mhm.
Kyrie's healthy, give me one of them versus Julia for the one time.
Oh, absolutely.
Just do it. Because I was watching a match with Kyrie and Julia the other day, and I'm like, they fucking slap. They were knocking the shit out of each other, and
Hmm.
let them have a Joshi style match. Just because. Just because
I'm not mad at that.
no, I'm talking about like let them. I'm talking about like really like elbows, forearms. I want to hear that shit.
Hmm.
Let them batter each other up. Cause why not? They love that shit. You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, back to Jade and Charlotte. You know, yeah, Jade ended up wrestling Nia Jax. You know, and of course, you know Tiffany Stratton was out there, and of course your girl Naomi was out there.
And
Um,
come on, proceed with caution. Proceed.
love
Y'all see his shirt. Proceed with caution.
love what she's doing right now.
Absolutely.
One of the best heels in the business. I just want to know like what's the end game as far as she goes. Now, I am rooting for her to be um the next Miss Money in the Bank. I think
Same. I think that's the agenda.
I don't know who else deserves it more. I don't know who else it could possibly be. I don't know like why would it be anybody else? I don't see it being anyone else. Now, by all means, put Jade in the match. Sure. Shit, end the match. Jade about to win. Oh, here comes Naomi. Bye. Boink. Give me that briefcase. Good. Love that. Fantastic. I do because Naomi in the bank need that. Need that bad. Or you can go Roxy in the bank if you want. I don't really mind. But
Roxy in the bank, I'm not mad at.
but
Roxy
Naomi
in the bank got kind
but
of
like Naomi's
down
the
to it.
move. Let's be serious. Naomi is it should
I
be.
think I think Naomi for Money in the Bank needs to be the move because do we all forget how like do we all forget how intense and how anxiety inducing it was when Edge had Money in the Bank, when Randy had Money in the Bank, like when these were dudes that like we knew had devious intentions in terms of like cashing in. Like Edge was the ultimate optimist for the ultimate opportunist for a reason.
Yep.
So yeah, I fully
Like it just
believe
see
like
and it would just fit her character so much right now. And I'm like
absolutely.
I said, she deserves it.
Also, belting her up with this gimmick, it would be so amazing.
Man, need it badly. Shit. And there was another tag. There was a lot of tag team matches on SmackDown. Shit.
It was. I ain't mad at it.
You had Fraxian versus the Street Profits, where I think Montez was banged up, and then you know of course you end up having Fraxian coming out on top, which is I guess is okay. I ain't gonna hate on Fraxian.
Look, I'm just happy that they're not getting lost in the shuffle, bro, because we all know how amazing of a tag team they are, how amazing of a run they've had. So to see them getting put in full contention, however, I love this match. I want them to run it back desperately. Like I want this to be a full blown
Bad.
feud for the. I want this to be a full blown feud for the tag titles for real. But I wouldn't have been mad if that match last Friday was against MCMG instead of like a hurt
Like,
Street
bro,
Profits.
like the tag team division is so loaded right now. It's oh my God, there's so many directions you can go. But you know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, at full health, full strength, give Fraxium and strength and the Street Profits like 25 minutes.
Oh
Give
yeah,
them give
let
on know what? Fuck that. Give them let me get a 2 out of 3 falls match. We need to
ooh
we need to do
ooh
more of those. We need to
we
do
do.
more of those. Not like Iron Man matches, but like 2 out of 3 falls matches. We need to do more of those.
That was the last one was Rumble, right?
There was one recently. I
Yeah, it was DIY versus
um
MCMG.
yes, and it's like that really give. I feel like that's one of the best ways to like show like who's really the better man or the better team in a match. It's something about a 2 out of 3 falls match that just butters
Mm.
my biscuits. I don't know. I love it. It's one of, even though it's a very basic match type,
Mhm.
it's so effective because
Yeah, I feel you.
it's like, oh damn, he beat you 2 times. He beat you twice. You didn't shit. He beat you 2-0. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what you gonna
Yeah.
do about that?
What's you finna say?
Now, like 3 stages of hell, obviously is an extreme version of it. Is
Yeah.
the extreme version of it, but a 30 falls match, love them because if you want to do Iron Man, if you want to do like Iron Man matches,
I don't think I don't know if
I'm not trying to sit and watch a match for 60 minutes. I'm not.
yeah,
I'm
like and
sorry.
also I don't think these guys have the durability or to go through it. Let's be so for real. Like the quality would start declining throughout the back half of the match just because of how tired they would get. I don't think the stamina matches like they definitely have all the capabilities, but I don't think we've seen a match from Fraxium that constitutes them going for a 60-minute Iron Man. You get what I'm saying?
Like I just because it's like when you get Iron Man matches, it's just so much fatigue from not only the wrestlers because the wrestlers have to try to like fill that time up, and then also like
Yeah.
as a viewer, you're
All right.
like
I'm here.
the only really good and engaging Iron Man match I ever watched with my own two like granted like I've watched Shawn and HBK, I've watched Randy and John, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I've seen Kurt and Brock, like I've seen like, Kurt and Brock's probably the best of the bunch in terms of Iron Man
I
matches.
mean, that's
Probably
all.
very easily the best of the bunch. But
Yeah, that's
like,
also Kurt and Brock. Like, I don't like
oh no
giving
no no
Brock his
no yeah
flowers
yeah
and
yeah.
everything, but
But
that's
like,
Kurt and Brock.
but still, the matches are so exhausting.
Yeah,
Jesus. But tag team division is great right now. I love what I'm seeing.
it is.
Damn, you had another. This what was it like?
Yeah,
It was like 4 tag team matches on the card. Jesus.
yeah, because we
Um,
had Andrade and Ray
Andrade and
Phoenix
Ray
up
versus
against
Los Garza.
Los Garza.
Now,
I'm not gonna lie,
I was about to say,
really good match.
interesting thing at the end of the match when I think it was Humberto hit
Mhm.
Santos. I was like, because
Oh yeah,
I remember him having like a very slight push like pre-pandemic era,
Mhm.
but it was like literally like a little
The smallest.
the tiniest. It was like the tiniest mid card push ever, and they just turned him heel. You know, granted, him and Angel are actually like related and they're cousins and all that shit, but it's like
Yeah,
it just happened so fast. Like, damn. But I am intrigued to see where they go with that.
I think that this is all leading up until the AAA promotion that they have June 7th.
Yeah,
I
and
think,
I'm excited for that because like only because like granted like when you think about a lot of the behind the scenes stuff with AAA and like Alberto was still their champion, so it's like I'm not too excited for the whole thing, but like there's a lot of potential for a lot of great shit to happen. So I'm hoping it goes well. There are problematic things in there, obviously, as we know.
yeah.
I do think giving the Mexican stars more of a platform be great and will work out for them in the end because there's so much talent. You know what I'm saying? Like Dragon Lee and all them, like Dragon Lee and them, like, come on,
Please
it's right
give me a
there.
give me a Dragon League
Now,
push in
if
AAA.
now
Oh my fucking God.
if you're able to like have them featured on AAA also, and
Mhm.
you're still giving that WWE level stage, great, do that, do that. You know what I'm saying? And I pray they do. Now, the show obviously ends with John Cena and Randy Orton. Um, John ended up getting faked out by who I think you said was Sean Spears.
Yeah, so at first when I was watching, I thought at first when I was watching, I instantly thought it was Miles Bourne, who
I
we'll
thought it
talk
was
about
too. It would have
later
made
on.
so much sense.
Yeah, he's already little Randy. Like they've played into the gimmick, but no, apparently again, take this with a grain of salt because dirt sheets. But apparently it was Sean Spears. So hey, shout out to Sean. He got to play a small little role.
Like, but now with the John Cena and Randy thing, like John has really, because like Randy has gotten over on him every single time they've interacted since John won the title. Like
I think
they're letting Randy get his shit in a lot, which I don't have an issue with.
I think he's
Now,
got 2 out of 3. I don't think it's every time.
well, shit. It's felt like every time I've seen John Cena get RKO like 3 times. It's been
That's
like every
fair.
time. It's felt like every time before leaving up the Backlash. It felt like that, Granted,
Oh wait, no, you're right. It was every time
yeah,
because
I'm just like,
John got the attitude adjustment, but then Randy literally RKO'd him like
yeah, it's just like but yeah, well, let's just move into what Backlash was. So you get the Backlash.
yeah.
I couldn't watch it live because I was at work, unfortunately. So I'll let Steph lead off on this. But you know,
So
mhm.
Backlash starts off with the U.S. Championship four-way match. Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, and and Damian Priest. How am I forgetting my Archer infamy?
That's
Um,
literally your boy. Like, damn, that's crazy. That's literally your boy.
yeah, yeah. So sorry, just a lot of potting we've done, but no. So the match is solid. Actually, the match is probably the second best match on the card to me, in terms of just what it means overall story wise
Mhm.
and what it means in terms of just actual, even pure in ring work. First thing, let me say, I'm so happy that Drew McIntyre is okay because when I saw that bump live, the first thing, actually, I don't even want to say my heart fell. I was just like, all right, like that could have been one of those things where I was like, "Hey, y'all, we gotta take a five. We gotta take a five."
Stop pushing Damian Priest. He keeps hurting my guy. He keeps hurting my king, Drew. First it was the glass in the eye. He almost busted his fucking head up in on backlash. I got beef with you, Damian Priest. I got beef
Uh,
with you.
I look. I love Damian Priest.
I got
I
beef with
don't
you,
have a
gang.
defense against that. I don't have a defense
So
against
no,
that.
I don't think he does it.
Like,
I'm fucking around. I love Damian Priest. I'm fucking around. But
yeah, like I don't
nasty.
think he does it intentionally.
Yeah, it's just one of
Like,
those things. It was just a nasty bump. It happens like that because when you do those high spots, there's a risk. Sometimes you
yeah,
overshoot. Sometimes you undershoot. I'm just
them
glad.
shits was coming.
I'm just glad Drew's good. Now, of course, at the end, there was a part where LA Knight was about to drop that I think was about to drop an elbow through the table on Jacob, and then Solo said,
Yeah,
"Uh," and then Jeff Cobb. Oh my God! Now, what I thought was interesting about that was when Jeff Cobb
what?
when Jeff Cobb came to help, Jacob was just kind of like,
Who the fuck is you?
because like you and I love that we're seeing Jacob's character develop on screen like as we go. Because granted,
We're seeing it in real time.
we know who he is. The way he talks, like he's just being himself on TV basically, which is fine.
Yeah,
But showing that the facial expression, like showing that emotional depth, is adds a lot. 'Cause it's like he loves Solo, but it's like, does he believe in what Solo's doing now? Like, is he on that same train as Solo right now? Because I guess like Solo's just doing shit, and Jacob's like, and not
what are
only
you doing,
that,
gang?
Solo also said he's the reason that Jacob's champion, and I'm like, whoa,
Whoa, whoa, now, brother. Whoa,
like
got a little too much dip on your chip.
like why would you like even if that's true, why would you say that? Because now it's gonna be like Jacob's like, excuse me, I'm the champion. What you do?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna call it right now. Jacob and Solo at SummerSlam. Either that or Clash in Paris.
Hey, I'm with it. Honestly, bro. Honestly, bro. If you want to really reestablish Solo, bro, Solo can beat him, and I wouldn't mind. It wouldn't bother me.
Act, I'm not mad at that
Or
because to be
or you could
fair,
go Jeff Cobb and Jacob, which I really need in my life.
oh
That's
yes,
what I
yes, we need that.
really need in my life. Like,
Now,
oh,
just a
Jeff
quick,
and Jacob are going to would fucking rip it, my nigga. Holy
yeah.
shit.
And so they've done matches on the Indies before. And for anyone who doesn't know who Jeff Cobb is, let's give a quick little rundown. So Jeff Cobb is a New Japan star over there. He was a one-time New Japan Heavy Strong champion, I'm pretty sure. He's worked in Lucha Underground. He's worked basically in all the Indies at this point. He's done some work for AEW because he did a Forbidden Door match, right?
Shout out to shout out
Chris
to
Jericho, he was helping out, right?
shout out to the United Empire, which unfortunately
Yeah,
he has beef with TJP, which kind of sucks, but
yeah.
he did a lot of great things overseas, and I'm very happy to see him in WWE. Now, if you don't know who he is, please do your research. Please go watch some of his matches. Because he is fantastic. Big, meaty man type of meat.
Shadow Big E.
That's what I need in my life. Um,
Um,
now you also had what was the match after that? I forgot the match order. So I know
it was Lyra
Lyra
Valkyria
was next,
versus
right?
Becky Lynch.
So,
Yeah,
you know, Lyra and Becky went out there, had a good match, which was probably the best match of the night, maybe that I saw.
I wouldn't be mad at it. I do think it was a little drawn out with the end because there was just this one shot of Becky going to the back, and it lasted for like 5 minutes. And honestly, that whole time, I thought, oh, Bailey's gonna come back. Nope, nothing,
It was just,
nada.
oh, bro, they dragged that shit out so fucking much. But you know what I'm saying? Honestly, I was anticipating a Becky win,
So was
but
I.
I'm not mad at it because like they're really solidifying Lyra as a good, as a really really great champion, which is
Yeah,
really good because like Lyra Valkyria is someone that had to grow on me. I ain't gonna hold you. Like when she won the IC title, I was mad. I was like, Dakota Kai's right there.
yeah.
But I will give Lyra Valkyria credit. She is killing it. She was killing it in NXT. She's killing it now. I'm just glad she's, they're letting, like, she's a champion that wrestles every week. She's a champion that, like,
I
puts,
love that she's constantly defending, bro.
like, she's the champion that, now, because, like, when you think of the IC championship and all throughout history, you think of, like, it as the workhorse championship or, like,
Yeah,
the the championship that, like, the real wrestlers go for. Because obviously, like, the world title is usually always like a glamour title sometimes, or like it would seem like because if you look at the '90s or like well, I was gonna say the '80s, like the '80s to early '90s, the best
hmm.
wrestlers in the world weren't world champion. Hulk Hogan was.
Far from it.
The only really good world champion like in that time was like what Randy Savage
Yeah,
maybe
I say that.
maybe you know. And then of course in the '90s you get HBK, you get Diesel, you get Bret Hart, you get Stone Cold, et cetera, et cetera. But and those are all guys who started with the IC title first and then built up to the world title. So the IC title has always been not like a stepping stone, but still one of those things that you have like a really, really
It's a
big,
benchmark.
a really, really big feather in your cap. Exactly. So
Yeah.
she's killing it. I wonder where they're going to go with Becky and Lyra now. Like, do they continue that? You know what I'm saying? Which I wouldn't mind by all means. Go crazy. They have good chemistry together. I don't mind that at all. But yeah, good
I'm
shit.
not gonna lie. Becky during the Becky and Lyra match, one of the funniest moments was Becky taunting Lyra's fiance during the middle of the match. That was
Yeah.
hilarious. Shout out my man Cleary. I'm blanking on his first name right now, but shout out Cleary.
I
I
do
think it's
love
LJ.
I do love when they blur the lines like that a little bit. I always do
Yeah.
say that. You know what I'm saying? It's like when Drew would stop the match and fucking tweet. Like I just think that's funny. Now,
Oh, speaking of that Drew and Tweet match, the homage from Damien when he had Drew that one spot, he said he's
yeah,
too busy at work. Also,
yeah.
great moment during the U.S. Championship match.
I
But
love
yeah,
that.
shout out LJ McCleary,
I
shout
love
out
that.
LJ Cleary. I don't know why I thought just because he's from Scotland that I need to put a mech on it. But shout out to LJ Cleary
Now,
for getting his little moment, getting his little shine during Backlash.
and you actually had two IC title matches in a row because you move on to Dominic Mysterio defending against Penta. Um,
Oh my God.
which was for as short as the match was a very solid contest.
It
Um,
was.
and I
I just
will
hate the
say too,
finish.
like Dominic is really getting a chance to display his in ring skill. Like I feel like he's always been good. I just think he really needed the right, not gimmick, but the right persona behind him to really like get people invested in it. Because even though he's like a heel, he's
Mhm.
like one of the most beloved guys in wrestling. Like I love that man. Like I was so happy when he won at WrestleMania. I was so happy. I was so happy
Same.
for him. Even if it wasn't like, granted, I'm a huge fan of. I love Finn. Everyone knows how I feel about Finn Balor. Listen, if it wasn't gonna be Finn Balor, I was happy that it was Dom for sure. You know what I'm saying? Let him cook, and him and Penta did just that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He even pulled out an Oblivion in the match.
Bro, that was insane. That
Like,
was absolutely insane. First off, let's say I've always been very adamant on saying that Dom is a real hooper. You just had to get the mess away from him. He was stuck in too many cluttered storylines where it didn't give a chance for him to like really shine, in my opinion.
yeah,
However, I definitely believe that this is going to be a great feud because even after the match, when Penta was on the Raw recap or whatever, and he was breaking down like what happened to Backlash and everything, he was like, the way how they've just been bickering at each other back and forth for like on socials and interviews, this feels like these are true traditionalists really trying to build a beef, which is something I think we miss a lot of.
bro, which I love because like kayfabe is a thing. It like hasn't been a thing in so long now, and I think the beautiful thing about kayfabe was that like even though like I always love blurring the lines, but like
Hmm.
there is such thing as pulling the curtain back too much.
Yeah.
Like with this show they're doing. What do they call it? I don't even know what the fuck they're
It's
calling it.
I think it's uncovered, but let me make sure the word
Uncovered, unscripted, some shit, and I'm like, really? Like I rather like
WWE un WWE Unreal.
okay, like I rather leave things to the imagination. Like
Yeah.
you're now, like I've been saying for months, years at this point, that they're catering to the most casual audience possible. Because as a wrestling fan, a real wrestling fan, we don't want to see that shit. We know it's already happening, but we don't want to see that shit.
Yeah, I feel like there's no need for an Unreal show because that's what we watch interviews for. I watch like we I don't need to see the writers' room because if I want to see personalities and know some of the workings behind some of these stories or whatever, like we have news platforms for that. Like I go watch a CBV interview about certain wrestlers and he always covers the storylines. I watch not Sam. I'm about to put a bunch of people over right now. I watch what's that man's name? Shaq, who be doing this stuff for CBS News.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out, bro. I know you know who I'm talking about.
Yep.
Like there's a oh, even before the bell, they have TNA writers on there sometimes who be talking about how things get set up and I'm like we don't need a full like Fed authorized like we don't need a full Fed authorized like look into the writers room. And this is coming from someone who like their casual antics have worked because I've made it very apparent on this pod. I'm now getting back into the product. Did I grow up watching? Yes, but I also took a break for a long ass time. And now
Like
thanks
a
to
lot
the
of people
homies,
did. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and now thanks to the homies, I'm back and I'm fully invested as you can see. So with that being said, even I'm like nope, we got to protect the story because why did we see a screenshot of the 41 plans in the trailer?
Like,
That,
why? I don't want to see that. Like, it's just, it's irritating. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even when Cole was like, you know what I'm saying, it's not really about the wrestling, it's about more so about the entertainment. You didn't have to say, we know that, but you don't have to say that. We know
yeah,
that. You don't have to say that. Shit, speaking of Cole, now, you had Gunther versus Pat McAfee, right? Which,
man,
here's my thing about Pat McAfee. Like, Pat McAfee has done, like, I remember when he was feuding with Adam Cole. And I
yeah,
remember they even went on the Pat McAfee show, and Adam Cole went off on Pat during the show, which I thought was great. Like they did a really, really great job with that build up. I love that so much. But
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It was pretty much just Pat getting his ass beat for like 15 minutes, which I mean,
Just about.
sure. But the thing that I loved the most was, you know, Pat was refusing to quit. He said he wasn't going to tap. But then you had Cole getting up from the table, taking off his headset, going to the side like, come on, like really, like that was the most I've seen Michael Cole do in a long, long time. Like, granted, I remember his whole thing when he was like the Mrs. Butt Buddy, not Butt Buddy, but like
Oh my God.
his little bro, like his
Yeah.
like his I don't even know what right word to call that, but either way, like it, Cole added a lot of motion to that, which I didn't mind. Like it added to the dramatics of it, which I
Mhm.
always appreciated. And you also kind of had a cool little kind of moment of respect where Gunther got up, Pat got up, they kind of had a little stare down, and that was the end of it. Shout out to Pat for being a trooper because
No, for real.
I wouldn't get in the ring with that dude.
I'm
Like,
not taking one shot from that
even
man.
if I knew I was protected, I'm
I will say though, it definitely looked like Gunther was going. It looked like Gunther was going light on bro.
I would pray he would. Cause like I'm like imagine you're thinking about to go in there, it's getting all easy, and Gunther just full force riding your shit. Then what? I quit.
He, he ain't doing no show tomorrow. He would not be on ESPN the
I
next day.
quit. Like if he really just like really laid it on him.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Shit. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna have you take the lead on on the main event because
All right, bro.
I've seen a lot of think pieces on this. It's the
Uh,
whole thing of, hey guys, it's supposed to be bad, and with John Cena and all that, how he said he's going to ruin wrestling, and but I want to hear your thoughts.
I'm not gonna lie. Cena's my goat. I love Cena. This isn't. This wasn't that bad of a match. However, I'm gonna be completely objective. If folks were to say it was, I would not be mad. To me, however, this wasn't a bad match in terms of storytelling at all.
I'm sorry.
And
Hold on, really quick, really quick. Really quick.
go ahead,
I'm
please.
sorry. I just saw this thing. It says, "Wow." So Ted DiBiase Jr. is facing 45 years in prison.
I'm sorry. What?
Ted DiBiase Jr. is facing 45 years in prison. Faces trial in August for allegedly stealing millions in welfare funds. Brother, your father is $1 million man who was probably in on it with him. But like that's what's so funny is like I always say that like I always thought in Legacy it was going to be Ted and not Cody. I was so fucking wrong as a kid.
Bro.
I was so
Oh,
like no because like when you think about how Ted's career flamed out in WWE, and like because
yeah.
by 2012 he was done.
No, he was. He was a
And,
flash in
and,
the pan.
and meanwhile, Cody hadn't even gotten started yet, and we know what Cody is now. So I look. I'm when I was 9, 10. I just knew it was going to be Ted. I just knew it was going to be Ted. Oh, how wrong
Bro,
I was.
it's so funny because the first thing that popped to my mind when you said that was he couldn't ask Cody for the bread. He couldn't call one of the members of Legacy. Oh, they denying his calls right now. I know that for sure.
It's insane. Well, anyways, back to the main event. I'm sorry. I just saw that. I was like, let me bring that up real quick.
Man, I don't think it's a bad match. I think that genuinely, like, I think it was better than the Mania match. I'm not gonna lie. I think
Yep.
it's definitely not the best of the Cena and Randy matches, but who expected it to
Well, I
be?
mean,
I
considering
think it's a
they've wrestled like 40 fucking times.
yeah, yeah,
you know?
yeah. I do like the fact that even though you can tell some spots definitely messed up, they were able to react on the fly. They were able to call one thing. John gonna do that man gonna call a
Gonna call a
match.
spot.
He gonna call
Suplex.
a fucking spot.
Irish
For
whip.
real.
Irish whip. Clothesline. Like,
Oh
nigga,
my God.
shut the fuck
Loud
up.
as shit.
Like, why are you so loud? Like, fry me. But I'm I, and it's got a lot of people questioning whether the heel turn was worth it and all that. Now, like, The heel turn itself, like the
Was
moment, was
rushed.
it worth it? Yes, yes. Now, and he also had a moment too after the match where John was kind of just like he kind of like stopped and kind of like thought like, wow, what am I doing? Like it was almost like he's questioning everything he's doing.
It
And
was.
you know, I love those subtle moments of like realization and those subtle little moments of like emotional intelligence.
It's
You
the
know,
moments between the moments that I love.
yeah, like it's just the subtle parts of psychology and wrestling that I love to see. Now, I think you have what is it, Saudi next, and then Money in the Bank right
No,
after that.
we
If I
got some. We got Saturday Night Main Event, then Money in the Bank.
forgot.
But
So,
SNME technically is a PLE, so
wait, isn't Crown Jewel next month also?
Crown Jewel isn't. Crown Jewel is in Australia. That's not till like
Oh no,
October.
wait, but there's something else in June. I'm not tripping, bro. I swear.
Night of Champions.
Besides that, because let me see, Battleground.
Now she got me for one night. Oh, is this right? Oh, what she died for? Now she got me in her sights. So take it off. Oh, take it off.
Whew,
We
damn,
back.
back. Sorry about that, guys. We had technical difficulties. Um,
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, back to the Cena and Randy match. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, like I do honestly wonder like what's next because like we were trying to figure out. You got Saturday Night's main event next. Then you have Money in the Bank. Then you have Night of Champions after that.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to figure out because honestly, going to Punk is very easy. That's like if you like, I just feel like if you want to do this farewell tour right,
Hmm.
might as well replay the biggest hits. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Give me Punk at Money in the Bank. Not Champions. I'm not sure what Not Champions is going to be like.
Honestly, Night of Champions, you could have them put over Night of Champions. Fuck it. If they wanted to, no, because they would do the champion for champion thing at Crown Jewel, so it can't
AJ.
be him versus Jay. You think AJ at Night of Champions?
Because you have to run that again at some point.
Yes,
You
you
have
absolutely
to
do.
now because I do think that SummerSlam spot might be where we see Cody come back. I think maybe because I'm not sure how long Cody's break is going to be and shit. So I just think at some point you got to run AJ back for sure. Now when they're going to run, like I said, I don't know how, but you got to run AJ back at some point because are you going to do the SummerSlam match with like you don't have the Cody Cena match at SummerSlam? Probably. It probably makes more sense to do it that way, but either way, you gotta have AJ at some point. Gotta have Punk at some point. Like you gotta do this shit right. Get in where you fit in.
I
Now,
think Punk at Money in the Bank, and I fully agree with you that they need to run AJ and John back. I think it should be on a bigger stage in Night of Champions. To
I
be
do
quite
agree
honest, I think it should be SummerSlam, but I wouldn't be mad at it for NOC. I think honestly, if we wanted to do, because John does need to be at NOC because they got to do the booking. He's got to show up at Saudi at least once. Um, that might
and there is another Saturday Night's main event in July also. Now, even though it's not a PLE, like obviously, but like, there's space to do it, There's definitely space to do it. Now, will they? Won't they? I guess we'll figure it out. I don't know.
yeah. So I think the biggest thing about the way they're booking John right now is, well, honestly, just to wrap up my whole thoughts on this John's reign, I feel like we all know how it's coming. We've been seeing the reports that apparently Cody's supposed to be coming back relatively soon. I think that that is the wrong play for right now because I think you build it out,
Oh yeah,
and
give us some
that way,
time.
yeah. Also, That man put the company on his back for a whole year after getting the title. So please, please, please let that man rest.
Oh yeah, he deserves a break.
How
Let him be at home with Brandy and Libby, please, by all means.
exactly. However, um, if let him come back Night of Champions and lose again, and so that way it sets up an even bigger comeback for when he eventually does get the title back later on in the year. Or
Cody could
yeah,
return at like. Well, because I'm thinking because
personally,
SummerSlam.
I wanted Cody to return at SummerSlam,
Because let me see. So when is SummerSlam? SummerSlam
August 2nd and 3rd.
August 2nd to 3rd. So because that'll mean you need like a month of build up. I was gonna say Cody could return at Money in the Bank. He could. And if you want to see that, you could do that. And then of course, like you said, like run that shit out in Saudi, and then run it back again at SummerSlam. Well, you could do that. You know what? I like you could do that. You could do that. You could do that if you really wanted to. You could do that. Now I'm gonna let them cook. See what they do. Because Cody's I retired for SummerSlam, so he's going to be there. He's going to be there. So it
Yeah.
is what it is. And now speaking of, well, I'm not speaking of Cody. Now moving on to Raw, the following Monday, you start off with Seth and Punk. Punk got down there first, started talking his shit. You know what I'm saying? Punk came out in that doo-doo brown fit, elite fit. The it's just the color
Look,
was
he
crazy.
always got that shit on, bro.
Always flyest man in wrestling. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Him and Punk go back and forth, do the whole whoopty 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 she. They start brawling. Braun Breaker gets involved, start brawling some more, start beating Punk up. Then here comes Sammy, they start beating him up. Now, something I really wanted to talk about was and of course also you had Jay Uso getting involved. Now I want to say this.
Four
Jay
letters, one word. My
Jay's
bad.
reign is suffering from the same thing like Seth Rollins' first title reign suffered from, the same thing CM Punk's long reign suffered from. Like, even though he's a world champion, he's a side character to a bigger story. And that's pissing me off. Because if you look at that image, it's like Punk front and center, Sammy front right, and then Jay's like back. You know, it's just it's kind of the same thing with like when Seth was champion, where like granted he was the guy, but you still had the Authority, Roman, Brock. There
Yeah.
are like bigger things happening, or like with Punk, you had Cena and Rock at that Mania and all this other shit. Like it's just a lot of things overshadowing his reign, and he's not being booked like the guy he should be. Like shit, having him wrestle Logan Paul as versus defense is where he fucked up. Well, not his first defense, but his first like defense on like a bigger show.
No, you were right. You were right. That's where he fucked up. That's where they fucked
Like
up.
like 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 you're not convincing. Like if you want me to believe in your world champion, you have to book him as your world champion. Like there's nothing that makes me believe that Gunther's not going to beat him on what was it, June 9th? If Gunther just went
Yeah.
ahead and beat him and won the
Exactly.
title back, I wouldn't be shocked. I'd be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I just want him to be booked better because I don't listen. When Jay won the Royal Rumble, I was happy. When he won the world title, I was happy. But I just need them to do right by him. And they're not doing right by him, and it's pissing me off. Like, don't have him be a side piece to a story that has nothing to do with the World Heavyweight Championship. Like, it's stupid.
He isn't appearing as dominant as he should be for someone who is holding the gold right now.
Like it's so irksome. I can't fucking stand it. I can't fucking stand it. And I really, really hope and pray that they rectify that as time goes on, because I already know they're gonna make Logan look like he can win the match, which is gonna piss me off. They're gonna let him get his shit in.
Which is so insane that a man who has given 14 years to your company, you're going to let anyway.
Like it's just ugh. Like you let that man be US champion for like how many months? Damn near a fucking year? Like move.
Yeah, I think it was like 10 months or something like that.
Like what the fuck, Triple
Correct me,
H?
correct me if I'm wrong, all the viewers who end
Yeah,
up seeing this, but
I don't even want to go into it. It was about that much. It was about that long. I'm pretty
yeah.
sure it was. It wasn't a year, but it was a long damn time.
Um,
Because he defended at WrestleMania and lost at SummerSlam. So yeah, he had that match for a
yeah.
minute. Fuck all that. Fuck that dude.
Anyway, moving on to the rest of Raw, we had Penta versus Gable, which was a cool little redo of Penta's introduction.
Yep.
Penta getting the one up again. Um, I'm really curious to see how this goes because I feel like Penta's in two current beefs right now that's moving on in two different directions. So I want to see how they all converge because it's very obvious that there's something going on between Gable or El Grande Americano and the Judgment Day. So it's very obvious that there's some chicanery going on. Also, uh,
What the fuck?
what?
I'm sorry. Uh, Tessa Blanchard teamed with Alicia Fox. I'm gonna call her Alicia Fox against Masha Slamovich and Nikita Lyons. What the fuck? You know what? Continue. I'm not even gonna comment. Continue.
Hey man, check our thoughts on that on the next week of
Yeah,
Top Rope Boys.
I'm not even going into this shit right now. Go, yeah, continue. I'm
But
sorry.
yeah, so Becky comes and gives the promo after her loss to Lyra.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that too. Oh my gosh, go ahead. Mhm.
No. Other than the fact, there was really nothing else to say other than the fact that I love having full-time Bex back. I really, really do. I love having the man back full-time.
Bro, because there's been this whole thing, people comparing her to Hulk Hogan. Here's my thing.
Mm,
Granted, yes, her winning the NXT championship, whatever, NXT Women's Championship, whatever, things like that. Like, and people are like, Becky's doing the same thing y'all accuse Charlotte of doing. No, no, no. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. It is not the same. First of all, you know what I'm saying? And she in her promo was like, "You're really going to see how it's like to be held down by big time Bex." And I'm like, you know what? Do it. Don't care. Do that shit. Have her win the damn Intercontinental Championship. I couldn't care less because y'all gonna
we,
stop talking bad about Becky Lynch.
yeah, we're in the era of
Y'all gonna stop
justified
talking
heel
shit about
turns.
Becky
This is
Lynch.
another.
Leave the man alone. Shit. That got me bent. Fuck out of here. But no, like I'm definitely happy to have her back, and I'm very excited about that too. Um, and it's like honestly, moving on to like because Gunther and Jay had a promo thing too, and Gunther had this whole thing. He's like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm facing the winner on June 9th, whatever. Cool, cool, cool. And you know what I'm saying? It was just another thing where it's like they kind of just let Jay just stand there. Like, like, like,
Bro,
like, like, give me more. What are we letting? Like, what are we doing right now?
yeah, I don't know what's going on, but hey man, at least we got AJ and Finn.
Oh my gosh, and that's something that I'm excited about also because like this could lead to like a Bullet Club team up, and I would love like because at some point because I remember when I don't know if
Still
this was
sweet,
last week or the
still
week
sweet.
before, but I remember AJ came in the Judgment Day room. And he was like, "Hey Prince," what's up? I was like, "Prince."
That was last week. The fact that he called him that made
Oh,
me smile so
I
fucking
need
much.
my Prince back. I need my demon back. Like, what the fuck?
And
I need my demon back. Like, god damn. Like, and I feel like this story's gonna be about Finn remembering who the fuck he is, and AJ
yeah,
is gonna have to show him like, bro, do you know who the fuck you are?
like you're him.
Like,
This
like,
all this Pin Balor bullshit. No.
like before he ripped his shoulder up, he was that motherfucking nigga.
Yeah, he
Shit,
was.
he went back to NXT to prove it again.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, so they did have a really, really good match. Obviously, AJ got the win, despite distractions from Carlito and Jenny McDonough.
Hmm.
Um, but I do like where they're going with that, and I'm really hoping this leads to Finn remembering who the fuck he is. I really
You
do.
and me both.
Um,
Uh, we had Roxanne and Julia versus Rhea and Io for the main event, which I'm not gonna lie, really, really dope tag match. I'm really
yep.
happy because I know that the spoilers were going around. Luckily enough, I didn't see any of them, even though I stay on wrestling Twitter, so I'm happy I was able to avoid that.
Real.
So I'm not gonna lie, man. This Rhea and Io, hey, we teaming up, but I'm still coming for your belt.
Dog. And this is what I said earlier, bro. At some point, Rhea's gonna be like, hey, bro, I'm gonna need that.
Yeah,
Like it's obvious what's going on. They're playing all cool, buddy. Rhea about to try to get that shit back in blood at some point. Okay.
absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
don't think for a second Rhea's letting that shit go. She has not
Yeah,
let
no,
that shit go. Bianca's
she's
just not in the
definitely
picture. Bianca's just out of the picture, but Rhea ain't letting that shit go.
she's definitely getting it back in blood somehow.
At
And
some
I
point.
fully believe that I just don't know where they book it at. I don't know where they book the 1v1 at because this would be like their third match this year and their seventh overall, right?
There's been a bunch. So I know, like before the triple threat, she was 4-0, I think.
Yeah, but then she had the one, the get back, right after the contract signing, I think, or before the contract signing. So that
Well, I
would put
think
her,
Rhea still hasn't beaten her regardless. So it's like,
yeah,
and you got to think they're going to have to let Rhea beat her at some point,
yeah,
unfortunately. So Rhea might be getting that shit back at some point. It wouldn't shock me if he was champion again before the year's over. Honestly, before the summer's over. Honestly.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't mind if they booked that for Money in the Bank, which we're gonna talk about a little bit more in a
Yeah,
little
for
bit.
sure. For sure.
But
Yeah, get that shit in because they're two great wrestlers who are great. They're in together. And also, if you have that match with no Bianca, no distractions, just let those two just scrap. You know what I'm saying? You can make magic regardless of the result.
for
So
sure,
I really do hope. And like also too, like I'm glad seeing Julia and Roxanne on my TV screens on main. I love seeing that.
absolutely, they
Now
are
I'm just
two
trying to figure out
very
like
talented
they
individuals.
keep doing this double duty shit with them, which I don't mind, but I'm just trying to figure out like where are we going with this? What are we doing? Because Julie, like, because obviously Jordan Grace is feuding with Stephanie for that title, and that's what
Yeah,
Julia
for
wanted. And
Battlegrounds,
Julia said she wanted that shit back, so it's like,
the
is she
motivation is kind of lost right now.
is she going to still go after that? Like, what's Roxanne doing? But I trust because like, there's no way you fumble Roxanne Perez and Julia. I refuse to believe that. So
My
I think
thing is that the same way how you're frustrated about how Jay's being booked, I'm frustrated about Roxanne and the fact that since she's lost the championship, she's like 0 and 18 or maybe 2
yeah,
and 18.
she hasn't won a match since, and it's like, bro, what the fuck are we doing?
And so there's no way to build her up if you're just going to basically make her a jobber in
Mello.
Raw. Again, we going to talk about him later. Um, so I think I just worry. I want to know when the official call up is going to happen. I want to know when they want to make it official.
Yep.
I want to know. I pray that the booking is being held properly because again, this is one of NXT's most dominant women champions,
Yep.
and uh yeah, and I'm kind of with you. Well, what's Julia's motivation or whatever? We saw the clip go out after Monday Night Raw where she looks at Roxy and is like, "There is no we," and I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
like what are we doing?
yeah."
But
So that's just my thing. But
they'll figure it out.
we talked a lot about Money in the Bank this episode, and Money in the Bank is coming up June 7th, and
Yeah.
the qualifier matches do start, I think, tomorrow on Friday Night SmackDown.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go ahead and talk with you, Reek, and see what Money in the Bank qualifier matches you want to see happen. So I'll list
Well,
off a couple of
because
mine, you list off a couple of yours.
see now, I would say like I don't more so have qualifiers. I more so just have like guys who I think should be in it.
I'm down with that.
Now, I'm wondering how many slots you're gonna have. I'm kind of hoping to keep it at six, no more than 7 or 8. Don't try to jam pack it like that like I used to. Like I feel like 6 to 8 is healthy. 'Cause I remember at
Yeah,
one point they were doing like 10. I'm like, all right, 6 to 7 is good. So I think you need to have Mello. Um, you need to have Penta in
absolutely need
there.
Melo. I can definitely see Penta.
I know you said something about I know you said something about Ilya Dragunov, and I'm like, we're not seeing him for a while still. I think, which is sad, which sucks. I'm hearing
I would
like
have
I'm hearing we're not hearing it from him until like after summer, which is a
that
fucking bummer.
sucks. If it was up
Um,
to me, granted, I don't know the medical state right now because we haven't seen that many reports about it, but I would definitely have Ilya surprise return for a qualifier, and then I would have him end
look,
up
if
in the
he's
match.
healthy, please run that because I'll go
Yeah,
crazy.
I think Ilya versus Chad Gable would go crazy.
Let me think. I think you go. Honestly, you can go Dom, you can go Mello, LA
Mm,
Knight,
mm,
Penta,
uh-huh.
and Phoenix. and Chad or El Grande Americano if you want to go there. And honestly, uh honestly for a dark horse, you can put Karrion Cross in there if you want.
I think Carrion absolutely needs to be in there. If we're talking dudes that I think need to be in the men's Money in the Bank, just like you said, give me Penta, give me Mello, but put Carrion in there. Give me Penta, give me Mello, give me
Also, yeah,
Carrion,
add Karrion and Rusev to it. Yep, do that. Add Karrion and Rusev. Mm-hmm. I
give
think
me
that's your match.
Andrade,
You could have Andrade in there. You could do that. I feel
give
like
me
he'll definitely.
Andrade.
I feel like he'll definitely be in one of the qualifiers for sure, if not in the match.
Yeah, and then give me Solo. I could see Solo being,
I would love to see that too.
you know,
Now, as far as like the women go, I would say Jade, Naomi, Ivy Nile,
Alexa. Yeah,
Roxanne,
Ivy needs a
Alexa.
spot.
Put Chelsea Green in that motherfucker. Um, you can put Liv in there if you want to. I wouldn't be opposed. Or like if you want to, like if you have calls by then, someone like Lash Legend, someone like Kiana James. I thought
Lash
you
and
got.
Money in the Bank will go crazy.
I mean,
Lash in the bank.
like you gotta have like add some new flavor in there. I feel like that'll be good. But definitely give me Naomi, Jade, Ivy Nile, Chelsea Green, Alexa, Liv, Roxanne.
Hey man, we pushing Naomi for Money in the Bank. We pushing
Push
for Mello for Money in the
Naomi.
Bank.
Push Naomi. Push Naomi. Now, as
Push
far as the
Naomi.
so now as far as the
Push
qualifiers
Naomi.
themselves, what are you looking at? Like, what do you think that what matches
The
do you
ones
want to
that
see like, for that? Like, what do you
so
think?
here are some across both brands that I'm kind of hoping for and looking at.
Okay,
Penta versus Tyler Bate because we have not
that
seen Tyler Bate
that would be
since
a
the
good match by itself. Yes.
like, we have not seen Tyler Bate since his return. Um, Mello versus Berto. I'm sorry, Berto, but you gotta lose this one. I need Mello in this match. That's why I have him
But
against
I
you.
don't mind him being in the spot though.
Mhm.
I like him in the spot.
Ilya versus Chad Gable. I talked about earlier. I think that would
That
be a
would be a
great
great match.
qualifier.
That would be a great match too. Oh my gosh.
Give me. I had Naomi versus Alexa Bliss, but now I want them both in. But there's no one in like the SmackDown
See,
Women's Division is so like everyone is somewhat a hitter, and there's no like jobbers really that I can really like.
but the good thing too is even with these matches, they always have like those last chance like triple threats, fatal four ways,
Yeah,
battle royals. You know what I'm saying? So even if like you have Naomi and Alexa Bliss and Alexa loses, she could still end up being in the match. You know what I'm saying? They do that sometimes. So
yeah. And then just based off of what we talked about when we did the SmackDown recap, I had Jade versus Charlotte, just off the random.
Charlotte in the Money in the Bank would be fun to see. I wouldn't be upset with that. I
Mm.
wouldn't be upset with that. That would, and honestly, like that match itself would be good for both because even though I do think Charlotte would have to like not carry, but Charlotte would have to definitely like guide the match more so because Jade is still like a bit green, you know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
um they can definitely turn water into wine, those two for sure. I see the potential in a feud with those two.
For
Now
sure. I think there's a whole lot of potential there. They have the star
it's
power and
going
the
to be
moves.
crazy because like I feel like something like that, like a feud like that, you might need a title involved. But if you can make it work without one, that's fine. It could be just one of those things like, hey, I'm better than you. No, I'm better than you. Let's go. That's fine.
I feel like they both messy, chaotic, and have the egos as characters to definitely do so without a
Exactly.
title.
So I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Um, now let's as we start to close things out here just a little bit. I know we usually do typical segment through segments for our recaps, but I ain't gonna lie, we gotta wrap things up a little quick here.
Yeah, we gotta push
So
it.
let's push it. Anyway, we gotta let's just get into NXT for this week. It starts off with Miles promo after winning the Battle Royale. So happy for Miles Bourne. Really, really loved it. He talks about how he
Mhm.
wants to be known for his ability, not his disability. Ethan Page comes out, challenges him. He puts his contendership spot on the line.
See, now I do love that we are seeing more visibility as far as disabilities go because you saw because like I feel like things like deafness, autism, things like that, they're getting more of a spotlight and they're getting looked at more of in a better light as opposed to like a taboo kind of thing. So I'm glad they're embracing it. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and Miles Bourne himself, this million, he's talented as fuck. Now
Oh, for real.
he literally looks like a carbon copy of Randy Orton. And I mean that in the best way possible. Like he has a great look, great move set. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, he's very passionate about the business. You know what I'm saying? Now, is he going to win? No, but but I definitely see him
I like
definitely.
having him in that title scene.
Yeah, I love having him in the title scene for sure. He could be a hell of a champion no matter what championship you put on. I feel like if you really push him and have him develop, he'll be great no matter what.
Absolutely.
Oh my god,
Um,
Opa
and
beat the shit out
then
of Harley though.
yeah, I hope a dog walk Charlie, bro.
Like he was throwing that nigga around the fucking ring.
Shout out to Charlie for the elite cells. I'll give him that.
Like he threw him, then powerbombed him like he was a small child. Like damn. Okay.
We had Wes beat Tony to push the. It turns out that Wes was a hitter for Stacks to push their storyline, which I thought was kind of funny. I like the cinematic segments that come from the D'Angelo's storylines and
Oh, I
all
always
that.
love that, and I love that like they're really playing into like the mafia,
Yeah.
Sopranos type thing. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
this
'Cause
is Goodfellas on Temu.
Yeah, because me being me being a fan of Goodfellas and The Godfather and A Bronx Tale, like the whole mafia mob thing, I love it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, man.
They're not overdoing it. They're not, you know, but it's just funny because like they're obvious caricatures of people from these films and these shows. Like Stax is clearly like Christopher from The Sopranos.
Yes.
Clearly. Very
Very
clearly.
clearly.
And I love that shit. Like so I'm granted I've never been a huge fan of Tony that much or the D'Angelo family to begin with. I do like some of the things that they do, and I like what they're doing now. So
I
I
like
think,
this. Yeah, I like this run. Like
yeah, I
all
love
the
this arc.
previous work, I've never been like a huge fan, but this I'm kind of more invested in.
Yep.
Do we have any expectations? Because we finally got their match confirmed for Battlegrounds. Any expectations?
Um, Not really, only because I haven't really seen Stacks like Russell like alone that much, so I don't really know how much he really has in him. So I look forward to seeing like how he is as an individual and how he cooks. Because I was a fan of like their tag team work as tag team champions. I did enjoy that a bit, but in
Mhm.
general, I was never too big of a fan. So I am looking forward to see what they do. I am intrigued. I am curious. So that'll be
Yeah.
good.
And then we had Trick and Joe Hendry have their contract signing.
Cinematic,
Man, Joe was going in on Trick, bro. He said, look.
bro. Joe been showing his clip lately, bro, with his promo work
Joe
because he
Joe
was like,
read
"Look,
him to filth.
it may not be the biggest match of your career, but it's the most important.
Yeah,
Lock in."
that was a bar.
He
That
said,
was a
"Lock
bar.
in."
He
Shit.
said, and everyone's gonna see that as quickly as your star shines bright, it can also fade out. Ooh.
Woo. So that match is going to be very good. I'm excited for that. I can't wait to see that. That's going to
Um,
be.
it's
That's going to be
still
fun.
crazy that we're getting a TNA title defended on WWE TV.
And I called this shit earlier there. I'm like, we need to have this. Now I wanted to have it during WrestleMania weekend,
Uh-huh.
but just having a TNA title being defended on WWE television is crazy
It's
because
insane.
me watching TNA in like 2011, 2012, I would have never even thought. Honestly, I thought TNA would have been dead by 2020. No, just the way they were going because like they kept going up and
Yeah,
down. The whole shit with Billy Corgan, Dixie Carter, the whole thing, like the
yeah.
constant rebrands, the constant different TV deals. Like TNA should be dead as fuck, but they're not.
I was about to say we talked about the fact earlier in this episode that they survived like four different times over, if that. Um, let's see here, and then we got Stephanie and Jordan versus Fatal Influence for the main event. Hey man, shout out to Juggernaut. Shout out to Stephanie Vaquer. Jordan said, "Hey, I'm gonna protect my investment. I'm gonna make sure that we win this match. So that way, it's me and you at Battlegrounds." That was what I loved.
Because I do love like even though there's respect, there's always like a healthy like level of what's the word I'm looking for, like a heavy level of animosity. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? That that
animosity
that
beneath the
that rem- that
camaraderie.
that, that remains, and I love that because Jordan's like, listen, bitch, I want that title, and I'm coming for it. So you're gonna have to run me my
Okay,
once, straight up.
for sure. And they put up a crazy match. Like that spot where Jordan saved Stephanie. I was like, oh, the storytelling there. I thought it was really, really dope. It helped build up
Yeah.
the story for their match.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now, I do think their match is going to be fucking fantastic. Now, because I've always been a fan of Jordan Grace. You know what I'm saying? Like going back to her indie run, and it's just the way she like. I remember like before like she built her body up to what it is now. You know what I'm saying? She's always been a fun wrestler to watch, and like I'm finally glad to see her on in this level. And her and Stephanie are going to fucking rip it. So that'll going to be fun. Shit, the women's division is on fire down there.
You know, Battlegrounds is looking to be a fun event. I love. It's funny how Battlegrounds and Double or Nothing are on the same day. I think
Hey, that's why I have two screens.
for a double header. But anyway, real quick, I just want to say thank you guys so much, so much for
Thank
tapping in with us
you.
this week. This this show is only done through viewers like you. We doing it PBS style, guys. So we appreciate you guys.
We take donations also.
Oh, for sure, for sure, for sure. Absolutely. We ain't never turned down a bag over here. Um, but nah, Reek, do you want to start our little send off?
Nah, man, I'm happy to be back. We'll be back again probably early next week. Get the schedule back up and
Yeah.
running. Um, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad to be back. I'm going to be back consistently full time because Steph has been on more episodes than me at this point. So we're gonna keep having new guests and new people doing this shit with us, and hopefully get some big time interviews in here at some point. You know what I'm saying? We're on the come up. Like we're approaching episode 10. This is episode 8, I believe. So
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? We're moving, and I'm excited. I couldn't have picked a better guy to do this shit with.
Come
So
on, man. Tag team partners for life.
yeah, so we're locked in. We're cooking. So
Yes, sir.
thank you guys for watching. I'm always grateful, and I hope you guys continue to watch and see us evolve and be on this journey with us. You know what I'm saying? It's fun.
All right, y'all. Let me get my little spiel so I can get on up out here. Look, man, it's the EST of the DMV. It's the Bayesian Bulldozer, the Cameroonian Nightmare. It's the Chocolate City Saint. You feel me? Any other podcast out here in this building, just know that you need to proceed with caution. Come on, it's the Top Rope Boys, and we always over.
Get a load of this guy. But nah, we'll see you guys in the next episode, man. Thank you guys so much. Love y'all.
Appreciate your peace. Love
It's
y'all.
been Top Rope.
And we out.
Cut.
All right.